Hello, I'm Anthony Mournian, and I'd like to talk to you about the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the United States. Before I do, let's remember how the amendments fit into the Constitution. The Constitution was signed on September 17, 1789. That's the birth date of the United States of America. The Constitution was short. Its 7 articles described what was to become the United States of America and how the powers of the new government would be divided among the 3 branches: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. That was fine, except the original Constitution said nothing about the rights or the powers which were reserved to the individual states or to the people. The movement grew quickly to enlarge the Constitution by adding the first 10 amendments. We know them as the Bill of Rights. The amendments spell out the rights of individual citizens and the states of the Union, and were added to the Constitution 2 years later in 1791. For the next several minutes, I'll talk about the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which defines our rights as citizens to be free of unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fourth Amendment is important to you as students because as young adults and as citizens, you have some of the same rights to be free of unreasonable searches and seizures while you are in school and under direction and control of faculty, staff, and school police. You might ask, who cares? You do, or you should. If you carry a smartphone, a laptop, a backpack, a purse, or a wallet, you should care. You might even care if you wear cargo pants and fill them full of all kinds of stuff. It hasn't always been this way. Students didn't have many of the same rights as an adult walking with them down the hallways with a bunch of students on their way to class. The adult had the protection of those magic words of the Fourth Amendment, to be free of unreasonable searches and seizures. Students, like those in slavery, were not considered equal as people, but just as slaves were not considered humans, merely chattels or the property of their owners. It's different now. As a result of decisions by the United States Supreme Court, some of them very recent, students have many of the same rights and remedies as adults to be free of unreasonable searches and seizures. So what are your rights? When can school officials search you or your belongings? What are the limits on school officials searching your purse, your backpack, or your personal belongings? Can a school official do a strip search of your person without a warrant? What's the standard for a search without a warrant when you're at school? What does reasonable suspicion mean? Is it the same as probable cause? Do you have the right to say no to a search of your person, your body and clothes? Do you have the right to say no to a strip search of your body without a warrant? Has a student ever been strip searched without a warrant? Let's watch this short video about a 13-year-old girl in middle school who was strip searched without a warrant.
Ever since I was little, I loved school. I never wanted to miss a day of it. I was in class and the vice principal came and got me out of class, and he started asking me some things, like questions about pills and some other contraband. And I told him, no, I don't know what that is, where it came from, and I haven't seen it. And he asked me if he could search my backpack. I told him, yeah, go ahead. So he brought the secretary in, and then he asked me to follow her. We ended up in the nurse's office, and then she asked me to take off my pants and my shirt. And when I did that, I gave it to them, and I stood there in my underwear while they were searching in the seams and shaking, just looking for something. I looked down. I didn't want to look at their faces, and I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to add the extra embarrassment onto it. When I was a kid and they asked me to do this, I didn't know that it was wrong. I didn't know that I could say no. Even police have to have a warrant in order to perform any kind of search like that. So why do schools just get to do it at the slightest extent? What they did was wrong, and they feel like they didn't do anything wrong, and that really hurts. But it's more about other kids. I guess what really motivates me, though, is just that I really don't want this to happen again, ever.
When does a student have the right to say no to a search by school officials? Anytime? No time? Sometimes? The real question is, what should you do if a school official wants to search your hall locker, your wallet, your cell phone list of contacts, your emails, your car in the school parking lot, your backpack, or you, with or without your clothes on? Do you have the right to have your parent or guardian present during a search of any of the above? What does the right of the people mean to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects? It means you cannot be ordered to take off your clothes and be strip searched. And it means your right to privacy is a protected right, unless and until you are presented with a search warrant which was issued with probable cause. It means, among other things, a teacher, a staff member, a member of the school police cannot come up to you and demand to see the contents of your backpack, or to look through your list of contacts on your cell phone, or paw through your wallet or purse without your permission, unless, that is, the school official has reasonable suspicion you are involved in a criminal activity. We can spend hours talking about reasonable suspicion or what is probable cause, but let's talk for a moment about the final phrase of the Fourth Amendment, which limits the search to the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. What does this mean, and what does it matter? It means a warrant to search your backpack does not include the right to search your wallet or your purse. It means a warrant to search you does not include the right to search your car or your home. This isn't theoretical, but you have to know your rights, so if you are confronted with an illegal demand to search you or your belongings, you can protest, and you should protest loudly. Remember, if you give permission for a search without a warrant, you are giving up your rights of protection under the Fourth Amendment. In another case of a different kind, the school officials of Stratford High School in South Carolina had a drug problem. They called in the police and decided to search all the students who arrived at the school by bus. They did not search those who did not arrive at the school by bus. Let's watch a 30-second clip of a portion of that search operation, which took place before school on November 5, 2003. Having in mind the right of school officials with a reasonable suspicion of criminal activity to search students' backpacks, purses, and hall lockers, what's your reaction to this video? Take apart the words of the Fourth Amendment. 1. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. 2. Against unreasonable searches and seizures. 3. Shall not be violated. And 4. No warrants shall issue. 5. But upon probable cause. 6. Supported by oath or affirmation. 7. And particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Think how you would apply each of those words and phrases to what you see in this video. Then, answer each of these questions. Are the students in the hallway of Stratford High secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects? Did this search require a warrant supported by oath or affirmation? And how would a warrant for this kind of search particularly describe the place to be searched? If there was a warrant, how do you think the persons or things to be seized might have been described? In your mind, Do you think the Fourth Amendment was properly or improperly applied? And do you think the Fourth Amendment rights of the students were or were not violated? Congratulations as you grow into adulthood. But remember, you have power, you have rights, and you have protections under the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution from unreasonable searches and seizures. Now I'm going to read the words of the Fourth Amendment once again. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.